Radio advertising is not like TV. TV is certainly not like newspaper, and newspaper is nothing like Facebook. Each one of those has certain nuances that don't carry from one medium to the next. But there are some basic principles of marketing and advertising that apply across the board. And all of those can make or break your ad and cost you sales. Now, we're going to go over several examples, several copywriting principles, and you can make these changes immediately. And for your next blog, for your next video, podcast, radio ad, Facebook ad, whatever it is you want to do next, you can apply these immediately. Here we go. The 5 biggest mistakes in your advertising and how to fix them. I see it almost every day. The overall foundational umbrella mistake I see in copy is talking about your store, your product, your service, and not talking about your customer, not talking about their life. For example, here's a radio script about deer hunting during bow and arrow season. You ready? It's that time of year, bow season. And at Outdoor Supply, we have everything in stock ready to go. We've got hunting boots, gloves, and belts, brand names like Wigwam, Carhartt, and socks by Rocky Socks. And be safe. Pick up an orange vest while you're here. Before the season starts, get in some practice in our indoor archery range. Book a lane for 30 minutes and get 2 arrow tips for the price of 1. Outdoor Supply, 123 West Village Avenue in Mount Dora. We treat you right. Notice the language. We, us, our. It's all about the business from the business's perspective. Now, a good example, if you're not a deer hunter, going deer hunting is waking up at 1 a.m., hiking out in the woods while it's still dark, climbing up into a tree to sit in a stool that's 40 feet up in the air, and it's probably 18 degrees that morning. But deer hunters love it. So give this a listen.
You went to bed when most people were finishing supper. As the party was winding down, you got up, hiked through the woods, and climbed your tree. And you waited. To get to where the big boys roam, you need the right gear from White's Variety. Hunting boots, gloves, belts, Wigwam, Carhartt, and the warmest Rocky Socks in town. All your waiting is about to pay off. White's Variety Village West, 1845 Philadelphia Street, Indiana.
That is their reality. And hunters wouldn't trade that for the world. Notice the language. You, your. It's about the hunter who's listening at the time. This ad puts them exactly where they would rather be right now. Up in a tree, hunting deer at 2:00 in the morning in 18 degrees. Speak to their reality, not your shelves. Think of them and what they want to do with what you are selling. The call to action, or CTA, tells your potential client what they need to do next in order to buy what you're selling. You only need one CTA, and it should be the method 90% of your customers use to buy from you every single day. If it's a product on the shelf, they need to come into the store. Does your listener need to go online to place an order? Give the website. Do you have a call center waiting for the order? Give the phone number. Too many times, the end of the commercial is crammed with every piece of throwaway fact imaginable. Here's a bad example. Stop by today, 263 Oak Avenue in downtown Smithville, or call 555-1212. That's 555-1212. Check us out on the web at OurLittleShopWebsite.com. And be sure to like us on Facebook at Our Little Shop Smithville. Give me a break. Now, here's a good example. 1. Come in and pick out yours today. Our Little Shop, downtown Smithville on Oak Avenue, across from the post office. You know exactly where they are. Here's another one. Order yours now. Go to OurLittleShop.com. Boom, done. See, now look at all that real estate you reclaimed to talk about the important stuff. Whether it's a radio ad or a TV ad, you're limited by that time slot. All that time I just gave back, now you can develop the product or the service or your listener's life, what it's going to be like after they buy. That's the important part. How to get it is just a quick little mention. A laundry list of what you have on the shelves doesn't pique my curiosity, doesn't seduce me. It doesn't entice me to buy anything. It's like saying, we sell this, this, and this. Come buy it. And then you expect people to hand you money purely because you exist. Here's a bad example for you. This was some notes that I got from a salesperson about a pool company. Now give this a listen and see if you can't pick out how many different things they're selling in one ad. Now is the time to be thinking about a new pool. Call Smith's Pools and Spas. In-ground, above ground, call Smith's. Every pool they sell is customized to each backyard, never a cookie cutter. Smith sells hot tubs too. Already have a pool? Smith sells everything for the new season, even vinyl liner replacements. The name for quality work and customer satisfaction is Smith's. Smith's Pools and Spas, 906 Fairlane Street, Kirksville. It's always fun with Smith Pools and Spas. Above ground pools, in-ground pools, hot tubs, chemical supplies, vinyl liner replacements. Say that 10 times fast. 5 things in one 30-second commercial. Your listener can't keep up with it. That's too much for one commercial. If I'm the person looking for a new installation, all the other stuff I could care less about. If I actually have a pool and I'm looking for, say, algicide or bleach or chlorine or something like that, that was the 4th or 5th thing in the ad. I've already tuned out. I'm not even interested by the time you mention what I'm looking for. I've already checked out. It's too much for one commercial. Pick one. Okay, here, give this a listen. What was your favorite vacation? Hawaii? The ruins of ancient Greece? The Grand Canyon? Visit your favorite vacation spot anytime you want just by walking out your back door. Find the best picture of your favorite vacation, and Smith's Pools will use that as inspiration to recreate your dream vacation in your own backyard. Let Smith's Pools turn that plain, ordinary backyard into your own private paradise. Call Smith's Pools and schedule your free in-home estimate. New construction only. Much better. Much better. And the rule I like to go by is, if it's worth a mention, it deserves the attention. If it's enough for you to say, oh, and by the way, we sell so-and-so needs its own ad. To properly highlight it, focus on it, and see how and show me how it's going to work into my life and how my life is going to be much better once I do get that other item. Give it the attention it deserves. Don't relegate it to a PS or something like that in your ad. If it's that important that you've got it in stock for people to come buy it, it deserves its own ad. Cliches are a commercial killer. What makes a cliche a cliche? Well, the first definition at dictionary.com is, check this out, a trite, stereotyped expression, a sentence or phrase usually expressing a popular or common thought or idea that has lost originality, ingenuity, and impact by long overuse. Would you describe your product, service, or your business as trite, stereotypical, unoriginal, and obsolete? Of course not. So why use the same phrases that can describe your store and anything else in town? Conveniently located. Here's a kicker for you. You hear that a lot on radio commercials. A radio station can broadcast up to 60 miles. If you're in the northwest corner of that broadcasting area, you are not convenient to the folks in the southeast corner. My other favorite one is for all your blank needs. That's talking about what you sell, not your customer's life. Friendly, knowledgeable staff, as opposed to the other stores who have the grumpy idiots. Is that right? You better have a friendly, knowledgeable staff. That's the bare minimum. I'm assuming you have a friendly, knowledgeable staff. That's why I'm even walking in the door. So, those are table stakes, as my friend Eric would say. Those are table stakes. That's a basic. Nothing to brag about. And the other great one that you hear all the time is, we treat you like family. So you're going to borrow $50 from me at Thanksgiving and never return it, and I'll never see you again? Is that what you're telling me? No, please. Not like family. I don't know about your family, but Trust me, most families, no. This one speaks for itself, or should I say speaks too much for itself. This is crucial if you're doing radio, podcast, or TV advertising. You have specific lengths of commercials, 10s, 15s, 30s, 60s, maybe even a 2-minute ad, depending on the station. It all depends on where you're placing the ad. As a reference, think of this. A 30 is about 80 words, okay? A 60, 170 to 180, 175 is a good number to shoot for, and you can use your word processor's word count to see if you're in the ballpark, okay? Day after day, I get 30s, remember, limit's about 80 words, with 110 words, or 60s, should be about 175, 180, with 220 words or more. I think the record holder for a 60-second script was 240 words or something like that. No, I think about it, that even seems low, but I think 240 was a pretty good record at one point. Most word processing programs, like I said, has a word count. Only select the text of your commercial itself, what's actually going to be in the ad. There's so many times we'll have like male voice or female voice or husband and wife stuff and things like that. You don't want to count those. Those aren't going to be spoken, but the actual script itself, count those words very carefully. And remember, you do have a slight fudge factor of about less than 5%. Okay. Car ads, they typically talk very fast. So you might be able to get a little bit more. You can go a little higher on a car ad, high energy ads, things like that. On the flip side, you don't want your funeral home ad to sound like a rapid fire commercial. So you're going to write a lot less words so you can speak slower. Like I said, you got about 80 words in a 30-second commercial. It's very typical for a funeral home to have 60, maybe even 50 words in it. So you've got to choose your words carefully. All right. And don't forget the little things like your phone number, 555-1212 becomes, notice the words 555-1212. That's not a phone number. It's 7 words. Okay. Keep that in mind. And also when you can include a price, we see $949, $949. Well, that becomes NINEHUNDRED. Okay. You see where I'm going with this? All right. And don't forget the word dollars. There's one we always forget when it comes to writing it out. And 125 Main Street becomes 125 Main Street. One number all of a sudden added three words, about 3 words every 1 second. That's kind of what it turns out to be. So you just took a second for the 125 where it looks tiny in the script. Write out your numbers for an accurate word count. That's for sure. Simplify and focus on one thing, like we discussed back in number 3. And your customer, like back in number 1, it'll come down to 30 or 60 just fine. And finally, remember, people buy based on their wants, needs, and desires. Meet them where they are. Make it easy for them to buy and don't confuse them along the way. A confused mind never buys. Some of these will take a little practice. Putting the spotlight on your customer is a complete and total different mind shift. That takes time. Cutting back to one CTA, that's something you can apply immediately. Start making these 5 things, these 5 changes to all of your copy, whether it's a blog post, a newspaper ad, a TV or radio ad, even on your podcast. Watch your sales start to grow.